Okay, everyone, so going into the third video, we left off doing the singles back here, going into the stitch, remember? So this is row 16. I've closed in with slip stitch, just gonna reclose in again. I'm going in the back loop, or let's say the center of that single, okay? I'm going to do one chain, and I'm going to come back in that same stitch back here, creating a single. This row is going to be about singles again, but this time using back loops only, okay? All the way around, using those back loops. I wanted to mention also, if you see that it's starting to wave a little bit, you know, not placing properly, don't, especially if you're using the macrame or the cotton thread, don't worry about it. Once you keep going, it straightens out itself. So don't stress over it. Again, just using those back loops, singles, okay? I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so pretty much finished row 17. Now I'm going to change thread. So whoever's changing thread, or some of you might not, some of you might just want to continue with the same color. That's up to you. Okay, I'm changing thread now. Try to pass this thread, and I have to be very careful with this thread because it's such a scratchy, slimy, that it goes right through anything. Now I'm just going to pull this thread through some of the stitches back here to secure that. And then once I've passed through quite a few, I'm going to burn the end of this thread so it does not come apart. I want to make sure that nothing's going to come apart. Then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to go through all of, well, not all, some of the stitching here, and then I'm going to burn the end. But I don't have any fire on me right here, right now, so I'll do that afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to put my gray away, then I'm going to come back to it in a few more rows. And I'm going to come in with my gold. I'm going to stretch a bit, and see this thread undoes so quick when pulling on it, right? Okay. Now I'm just going to start where I left off. I can see I left off over here. So I'm just going to go through the two chains there of the single. Goodness. So I don't know why I keep tightening up my stitch this way. It's just, okay, try this way. Okay. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. This is row 18. So I've done 3 chain. I'm going to come back in that same stitch and create another double crochet. Of course, the first one's always the hardest one, right? And then with this slippery thread, it's kind of hard to, okay? I'm going to try to even see if I can hide a little bit more of this stitch here. Will help out by hiding to be a little bit more secure. Okay. So 2 double crochet. Now I'm going to do 7 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I'm not going to worry about this thread because then afterwards I'm going to burn it. So I'm just going to leave it there for now. Now we're going to work on the chain we left behind here, the stitch we left behind. Okay, we worked back loops. Now I'm going to use this loop that we left behind. We're going to count this time. So I'm right here. So I'm going to count 1, make sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On my 10th, I'm not going to work on there, but I'm going to work on the right below. So if you want to feel safer to count by here, we're right on this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. On my 10th, I'm going to do a slip stitch. Okay. And then I'm going to turn to the back. We don't want this too loose, so tighten up your stitch a bit. We're going to fix this 7 chain we just did in the center like that, so we can go in it and do 7 singles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, we're going to work on the stitch right next to it. So we've worked on that one. We have the stitch right next to it. So if you want to look through it on the other side, go ahead. I'm just going to pull it this way. We're going to be doing double crochet. So 1 double crochet. Now turn to the front. This one is a little bit long. It's a little bit of, you know what, a little pain here, there, but it's worthwhile after you've completed it. Okay. So we've done 1 double crochet. The stitch right next to it, we're going to do 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Okay. It's a little bit hard with my thread because, you know, it's kind of hard to be bending it. So 1 double crochet on the stitch right next to it, and then the next one 2 together on the same stitch. Okay. And then again, we're going to repeat these 7 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to skip 1 stitch here. Okay, we have that loop here right after the one we've used. We're going to skip 1 and we're coming in the next one. Okay, this one here. So coming in, doing your slip stitch. Okay, now you're going to turn to the back again. Fix your 7 chain there so it can be straight. And then doing 7 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now with cotton thread or macrame, it's much easier to do this than myself with this type of slippery, right? Again, coming into the next one here, it makes it easier when you turn this way to do 1 double crochet. So basically we're just repeating now what we've done into the next one right after and doing 2 double crochets. This is very slippery. So for those of you that are doing with cotton or macrame, you'll find it way much easier than this thread for sure. And it's a bit of work all the way around repeating this, but it's what makes the gorgeous effect afterwards on the pattern. Okay, it's going to be like that. Look how pretty that looks. Okay, so we've done the 2 double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Coming again, if you need to bend it to help you out. So we're going to skip 1, going into the next one, slip stitch, turn around, fix that 7 chain there so you can work on the center, single, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Again, into the next stitch and doing 1 double crochet. Going into the next one and doing 2 on the same stitch. Okay. And I have the camera in my face. It doesn't help to see the stitch either. But it is what it is, isn't it, people? So 2 double crochet on the same stitch. And then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then skip a stitch into the next one. Don't forget, we're using those loops we left behind. Okay. And then turn around and then do your singles again. So if you need to rewind the video a little bit, then go ahead. And that's how we're going to proceed all the way around. So we're going to have this gorgeous effect all the way around. Okay. So I'll meet you at the end of mine. This is row 18. Okay, everyone, pretty much finished my little pizza, let's say. I don't know, it just reminds me of a little beautiful pizza, right? So make sure that when you are coming, you still have to go through in order to fill these stitches back here, right? Now I've done my very last one. Even if you have an extra stitch back here, don't worry about it, okay? It's no big deal, doesn't change anything on the pattern. Now, I've done my last 7 singles. We're going to close up. Now here, I had done 2 together, right? So we need to have the right amount. And I'm just going to go back into that same one to have that one alone. Because remember, we did, when we started, we did 2 together. Okay, so did that one alone. Now I'm coming in that very first one and I'm going to close it in with slip stitch. Okay. And that's how beautiful it looks, right? Okay, so now I'm going to do 1 chain. And I'm going to come in that same stitch to do a single. We're going to be doing 2 singles. So next stitch, another single. Skip the braid. I'm going to call it the braid so we don't get confused by anything, okay? So skip that braid. So we have 2 singles coming into the next one, skipping that braid, 1 and 2. Okay, until we have 10 singles. So 2 on each space of the braid in between. 2. Okay, and then skip that braid. I'm going to call it the braid, and do 2 singles, 1 per stitch. So we have 4. Coming into the next one, skip that braid into the next one. 1, 2. This is row, I believe, 19. Let me just confirm the other video exterior that I did to count see if I'm right. So yes, row 19. So I have 2, 4, 2, 4, 6. Again, skipping that braid, open it up, and doing 2 singles. 1 per stitch. 2, 4, 6, 8. Into the next one. 9 and 10. Now, we need to do an increase, okay? So we're going to be doing an increase on the next, after the braid. So we have to catch it really on the very first one here. 1, 2, and then 3, okay? So going over to the next one, right at the edge of that braid, 1, 2, and 3. So now we have 13, okay? We have to always do an increase. We always have to have 13. So into the next one, we start with 2, counting only 2 again, okay? So we're not working on that very first one, right on the second. 1, 2. Skip that braid. 3, 4. 1 single per stitch. Skip the braid. 5. Skip too far. 5, 6. Skip the braid. 7 and 8, skip the braid. 9, 10. Now we're going to do 3. We need 13. 11, 12, 13. Okay, so, and then we continue again, counting by 2s, right? 1, 2. 3, 4. 5, 6. 7, 8. 9, 10. After that braid, make sure you grab it well in the corner here where the braid is. 11, 12, 13. Okay? And that's what we're going to do all the way around the same way. So row 19, and I'll meet you at the end. Make sure you do your 10, 2 per each braid in between the braid. And then after you've done your 10, right after the braid, you do 3. That totals your 13. Okay? It's a little bit of hard work, but like I said, be patient. It is absolutely stunning and you will absolutely love it. Okay? Okay, everyone. So finishing row 19, I've done my 10. I have the last one here to do, which I'm going to do the 3. So it gets tighter because everything is like tight now. 11, and my thread stuck. 12, 13. Okay, everybody. So I finished the complete row. Now I'm going to bring this thread to the back because I'm going to change color. Now I brought this thread to the back, and I'm going to, because I want it to look properly on there, and bring this to the front here, well, behind it, okay? I want to pull this thread through it. Maybe with a smaller hook, maybe I'm more able to do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull this thread here, bring it to the back. But you can close whatever way you think is right for you. I'm gonna close it this way because it will have all the stitches lined up. Very hard to pull on the thread, obviously. Like that. Okay, so it all looks evened up. And then I'm going to tuck in the loose ends with this. Now, the next row, row 22, I believe. I have to always go back to the video to check the numbers because I lose control of them right away. I'm just pulling this through here because then I'll be burning the edges so it melts into the pattern and we won't have an issue of anything coming out. You guys can do your normal hiding if you're doing with macrame or if you're doing with cotton. Okay, so I'm going to come in now with the gray again. Okay, so that was row 19. Okay, so I want to start where I finished off just to keep track of everything. Now this row also is very simple. It's just going to be single crochet, okay? So single crochet all the way around. There is no increase. One per stitch. Trying to hide the little thread there. And I'm trying to loosen up because this hook that I have is a little bit smaller than the other one. But the other one I was getting a callus from the numbers up front. This is more comfortable to work, right? So I can't tighten too much. And so my stitches don't become too small, right? I will have to try to find a 4.5 with this rubbery thing. It's much, healthier on my fingers because, oh my God, really, it's a little bit tough to work with this, even though it's going to be gorgeous, but, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of putting pressure on the fingers with this. It doesn't slide through your hands, or when it does slide, it's off the hook. Okay, everyone, so row 20, single crochet all the way around, and then I'll come back to you again on the next row. Okay, everyone, so just finishing row 21. So I'm going to come into that first, actually I'm going to grab it from the back to the front. Okay, so now we're also going to do singles, but we're going to do like we've done here. We're going to, not on this one, but we're going to come down where the gold is. So we're going to skip this row we just finished and going into row 20. Okay, because we just completed row 21. We're going to come doing back posts. So single, and again, one per stitch, doing single. So coming from behind to the front to the back. Singles all the way around the same way. There's no increases, nothing, just back posts. Okay. We're coming down between the gold and the silver, like that. So it's going to have this effect like we got this effect here. Okay. Can't miss any of them, so make sure that you're seeing where you're putting your hook. I'm going to continue mine, and then I'll meet you at the end of this row. Row 22, okay, because we just finished row 21. This will be row 22. Back post, single crochet, one per stitch. Okay, everyone, so pretty much finished row 22, closed in. Actually, I'm just going to close in with slip stitch on that very first one we did. Okay, so now I'm going to come in to the next single we have there with a single. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip a stitch and I'm going into the next one. Single. So this row 23 will be about creating these loops. 1, 2, 3. skip a stitch into the next one. 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch into the next one. That's all we're doing, is creating these little loops like that, okay? 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch. Can't be skipping too many. I have to skip only one, okay? So you have to be careful because sometimes we can make a little boo-boo. 1, 2, 3, skip a stitch into the next one. This is row 23. I'll meet you at the end of my row. Okay, everyone. So we're closing out row 23, but I'm going to close out doing a sideways double crochet, but we're going into that loop like this. Whoops, my thread keeps slipping out. The camera's in my face. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have 78 loops. Okay, I'm going to do one chain. I'm going to come back in and do a single. Now this row 24 is a little bit touchy, so you have to pay attention, okay? We're going to be doing incomplete double crochets, okay? Now, we have 2, let's say, of these. We're going to be working down here. So we have, these singles down here. So because this is covering when I close it up. So I have 1, 2. I'm going to work on this one here, the very first one. And I'm going to come from behind and in. And I'm going to do an incomplete double crochet. I'm going to skip this one here, okay? Skip this single, and I'm coming into the next one. And do, oh my God, this fly is driving me nuts, an incomplete double crochet. Now, I'm going to go behind, okay, that 3 chain. We have that 3 chain behind. Sometimes it pulls a lot, so you have to make sure that you see it well. And do a single. Then I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. Coming into the next 3 chain loop with the single. We're always going to have 2 loops in between these incomplete double crochets. 2, 3, into the next one. So now I've got my 2 loops. Now, if you want to put your marker on to make sure that you know where you are, I'm going to put the marker right here on that first incomplete double crochet, okay? Now, again, so we have the 2 loops. I'm going to skip this one right after, and I'm going to come and work on this one here. Only skipping one and doing the incomplete double crochet, okay? And then again, you skip this one, you're coming into the next one. And then you're going to close up your incomplete double crochet, okay? Now, right behind it, we have that 3 chain. We must do a single, okay? So always skipping only one of these, okay? One of the singles here. 1, 2, 3. Coming into the next one. You'll get the hang of it once you start working on it. 1, 2, 3, into the next one. So always having those 2 loops. Again, we're going to skip this single here and work on this one. So coming down. So we're skipping this one and we're going to come down on this one here. stretch your thread and complete double crochet. We're skipping this one, always skipping one. I know it's a little bit touchy, but you can do it. Okay, and then come behind it. We have, it's right behind because it's going sideways now, and do a single. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3. My thread is all tangled. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Oh my goodness, I have my thread tangled everywhere. Okay, so 3 chain, coming into the next loop, single, 1, 2, 3 chain, coming into the next loop, single. Okay, so always 2 loops. Now, we worked on this one here. We're skipping this one. We're going to work on that one. So, skipping this single there and coming into the next one. Stretch your thread and complete. Skip this one, come into the next one. And now close in your incomplete. Right behind it, you have that 3 chain, single. Okay, and this is how it's going to be on this row 24. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of my row. Just make sure that you always skip one and then hook it on the next. Skip one, hook it on the next. Okay. Okay, everyone. So I pretty much closed out all my, we'll call them little V's. You're to have 39 V's, okay? Now here at the end, of course we needed, remember we started with that single, okay? We needed to have those 2 loops. So what I did was, did chain 3 after I did my single behind that V, went into the same one where we have that single, and did my 3 and closed in with slip stitch. Okay, right on top of that single that we did. Now we're going into, this was row 23, we just finished completing. Going into row 24, so don't forget, 39 V's. Remembering that when you're skipping down here, you're not skipping a block, you're skipping a single here, okay? And then into the next one, skip a single into the next one for your V's, because you can get confused and think that it's a little block you have to skip. You can't, or you're going to be short. Okay, so now I'm gonna go with the slip stitch, or maybe not. Let me see. Let me think this over. Okay, so we've closed in with slip stitch on that single. Now I'm just gonna go over to the next 3 chain that we have there after this V, okay? And we do a single. This time we're going to be working inside of that single that we left behind. We're going to be doing triples, okay? So we're going to be working in all of the singles that we left behind. I'm just going to leave this here where we started, more or less, a few rows down so it doesn't bother me. Okay, so all of the spaces here that we left that one single behind, we're going to be working on, okay? So now I'm going to roll twice on my hook. I'm going to come down here on that one that we left behind, take out 2, take out 2, and we're going to do a incomplete. Okay, again, you're going to roll twice on your hook where we've closed that triple, or the first stitch we did that we took out 2. I'm coming down here on the bottom. right on that stitch. Oh, we have to do one chain space, sorry. Okay, so we're going to close it up. Sorry about that. So triple on that one that we left behind. One chain. Roll twice on the hook. Now we're going to come down and stretch. Take out two, and the last two. We're going to come into that 3 chain with single. We're going to do 1, 2, 3 chain right over that V into that 3 chain space with a single, okay? Roll twice on your hook. Again, we're going to come down here and work where it's free, okay? So we're going to grab, I'm going to grab this here where we left that one behind. Don't be afraid to stretch. Take out two, and take out 2. 1 chain, roll twice on your hook. Come where we've closed that triple on those 2 loops, and again stretch, take out 2, and the last 2, and come right after into that 3 chain with single, okay, and then 1, 2, and 3. Come into the next single, so we're jumping right over that V, okay? The 3 chain is always over those V's, okay? Roll twice on your hook. We have that empty one down here. Take out 2, and the last 2, 1 chain. Roll twice on your hook. Again, come into that 2 chain, the very first that we closed out, the triple. Okay, I forgot to roll twice, so I'm taking it out like this, no problem. So if you forget to roll twice, in order not to take it off your hook, you can just do 1 at a time. So, did my triple again. Single into the next 3 chain, 1, 2, and 3, coming into the next 3 chain with single. Again, roll twice on your hook. We're coming down here where we left that 1 single behind. Take out 2, and the last 2, 1 chain. Roll twice on your hook, come down again into those 2 loops that we closed out the triple at the beginning. Take out 2, and the last 2. Come in directly with a single. Okay, so we're creating again these V's this way. And then 1, 2, and 3. Come in the next 3 chain with single, okay? Roll twice on your hook, come down where we left that one behind. So now it's just repeating the same thing again and again. Of course, it gets harder on me. The stitch gets tighter with this ribbon thread, let me tell you. It's going to be gorgeous, but still very hard to work with. Okay, let's try that again. Take out 2, and the last 2. 1 chain, roll twice on your hook. Come into that 2 chain stitch here that we closed a triple. Take out 2, and the last 2. Come into your 3 chain and single. Okay, so you're basically creating a V. We have the V upside down here that the previous row. We're creating the V the proper way. and 3 chain on top of that V with single, right? 3 chain single, triple, 1 chain, triple on that 2 chain that we closed up the triple. So row 24, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, we're almost at the end. I've done my 3 chain after I've done my triples here, going in with the single. And so we're going to come in right on this one here. It's kind of tight, but it is what it is. Doing my last one. And I'm just rolling once now with the, because this thread is finishing up, and I'm changing colors right after this. So I didn't want to make a knot and not another thread here. And then I'm going to come and close it. Right here. Trying to see where is this thread coming from. Okay, down here. When it pulls, it just pulls, right? Okay, so I'm going to change threads. I'm going to tuck in my loose end here because I don't want to lose anything. So you always have a triple and then the double crochet V. Triple V, double crochet V, okay? And I'll meet you in the next video because I think I have enough memory on this one, just to make sure that I don't overdo it on the memory on my phone. And I'm going to come back in with the gold. Now, Leela, I believe you're creating 3 colors. So in your case, I would come, because we'll be doing a popcorn stitch for the flower again, I would come in with that cream color that you're going to use to do the popcorn stitch. Okay, for people that I guess using 3 colors.